Hey, everybody, and welcome to our finals edition of AGT Time. Cody Patterson here
Along with Jay Bach. We got 4 hours of television to get through. Hopefully we can keep it a little bit shorter than that on the podcast.
Hey, only 3 hours if you watch it on Hulu.
Only 3 hours if you pay for the fancy Hulu where they skip all the ads, right?
Yeah, that's right.
See, I'm thrifty enough that I'll watch the ads on my Hulu.
Well, I actually stayed up and watched the results live.
Wow.
On Wednesday night.
Okay.
I did not want to be spoiled by the interwebs, so I wanted to stay up and actually watch the results live.
I did the same. But I time shift all my TV. I record it on the TiVo, and then I can watch it 5 minutes after it starts, or 10 minutes after, or 2 hours after. But I did not want to be spoiled either.
Yep. Well, finals, Jay. We're hit. We're done.
Man,
it's over.
We've made it.
We can say good season and see you bye.
Yeah, I need to mark the end of the season. I've got other things on my plate that are calling for my attention. So I've enjoyed the heck out of podcasting this season. I look forward to doing it in the future, but I've got evening hours that are calling for my attention, and it'll be good to shift some focus. But we've got this to do now, so let's put our focus here. Let's do this. Let's have fun with it. I've got some interesting trivia coming up in the second part when we talk about results that I think you'll look forward to. But yeah, I guess with that, I'm ready to jump into the episode.
Let's take care of business real quick. AGT Cast on Facebook, AGT Time on Twitter, Cody L. Patterson at One Man Bander, and agtcast@gmail.com. So hit us up. Let us know what you thought of the finals.
Reach out to us in all those ways. We actually did get a message this week just today even, from a gal, Sarah, who reached out to us on Facebook, said that she had been to one of the semifinals and the finals. So
I think it was a quarterfinals and the finals.
Quarterfinals and the finals,
yep. Two shows.
So I'm hoping that maybe we'll have an opportunity to pick her brain a little bit and learn a little bit about what she experienced on actually going to the live shows. If anybody else out there has insight or would like to chat with us, or tell us kind of what you experienced, we'd love to hear more about kind of that behind the scenes of the episodes.
Yep, I'm a big behind the scenes guy. I kind of like to know what we did not see on the show. That's just kind of the person I am. I want to see how things are built. So yeah, hit us up if you kind of have some insight.
Yeah, but thank you, Sarah, for reaching out to us and for looking at the Facebook page, and we'll look forward to hopefully having a chance to learn a little bit more from you.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Okay. Tweet at us, Facebook us, all that good stuff. Are you ready now to jump into the episode?
I am ready now.
Okay. First act of the night was our dance group, one of my favorite groups of the season, The Unbeatable. I guess, do you want to talk about their video package at all, or what did you see from The Unbeatable?
So their video package was basically talking about one of the founders, Vikas, him and one of the other guys that still performs with the group, how they started the group, just at the time called it Unbeatable. He had a terrible accident where he fell about 12 feet. Said he landed on his head or his back. They took him to the hospital, and they said Vikas was no more.
Yeah, that was in 2014, I wrote down.
Yeah, so they ended up adding the V onto the beginning of Unbeatable in honor of him and calling it V Unbeatable.
Yeah. Pretty heart-touching story. They certainly care for Vikas. It wasn't, something that they wanted to have happen by any means, but it'll show you, like, this is a truly dangerous act. How high that they throw, how much they flip, how much is going on the stage. Like, there's certainly room for things to happen, for danger to happen. Not terribly surprised that, there have been serious injuries. A little discouraging, disheartening that they've actually had a member die. But I guess it just goes to show how serious they really do have to take their act.
Yeah, we'll get into the comments in a little bit, but they're more than just a dancing act. They are a danger act.
Yes,
the stuff they do is dangerous. It is exciting. The dancing that they do. They're I think in this one they were up on some platforms, some boxes. They were jumping off. They started in the balcony.
They started in the balcony. They at the very beginning of the act, they throw this guy, one of the kids, down from the balcony to the stage, or whatever they were positioned below the balcony. Like, that's crazy. So they start by throwing somebody from the balcony. They've got like these 10-foot tall like slides or ramps that they kind of interact with, and then the cubes that you mentioned that are stacked 2, 3, 4 high. I'm not sure, but 15, 20 feet up that they're working on top of. So they did the cool thing where they had a guy kind of run across the top of the people being held up, and like across their backs or across their feet that were being held up in the air. Did you make any mention or any note of their costuming?
I did not. I think it was kind of a greenish yellow, like a neon green.
Yeah, they had their sleeves and like pant legs were a different color that reacted with the black light. So they were using the black light to sort of highlight their costuming, I guess. My wife was going through. She said, "I like the black lights, but mistakes are very obvious when it's highlighted like that." Like, hey, look at this. I'm not keeping up with everybody else.
Yeah.
So
no, I didn't notice that. It's a good catch. I did notice they were like doing some parkour type stuff. They were jumping off those platforms really high, but the way that they land on the beats, they're not off the beat at all. Everything they do is on the beat.
Yes, and yeah, I guess their very last thing, they ended up throwing a kid down from the top of those boxes, maybe 20 feet up in the air. Like, these guys are totally dangerous. They're totally good. They're totally in sync. The standing ovation from all the judges. Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. I've loved the act since we first saw them. They've grown on me, even since we first saw them. I'd almost be interested in going back and hearing my original comments on them. But
yeah, I've been up on them the entire time. I have to listen to mine. I know I've been up on them.
Yeah.
I think almost every performance they've started off the show, and they just know how to just get the show going, and it just put the energy into the show from the very beginning.
Yeah, they really do. They bring it every time. It's unique, it's interesting, and they're so big. So
yes,
they use the entire stage, and they use it all very well. So
yeah, absolutely.
Howie said, "I've never seen anything like this. The most dangerous, thrilling act in the history of AGT." The V also stands for victory. So right out of the gate, we've got our winner. Thanks for coming. Gabrielle said, "My adrenaline is out of this world. That was unfreaking believable. You guys killed that performance." Julianne said, "My mind is exploding. Everything is precision, excellence, everything a dance crew has to be." And Simon said, "I think the beauty of your film put everything into perspective in terms of danger. Rarely do we see an act from the first audition do something as good in the finals. If we had a golden buzzer, you would have gotten it tonight." So he was very, very impressed. High praise from all the judges, as well it should be.
Yeah, and I don't remember any finals act just totally bombing like we've seen in previous rounds. So pretty much when you get to the finals, you're at the top of your game at this point. There's usually never a bad comment at this point.
Yeah. You really only have 1 or 2 weeks to prepare for finals from semifinals. So you better have something ready to go in the wings. They put together a whole dance act. They've got the whole thing figured out from from last week to this week. So great stuff, great act. I'm thinking, after just one act, I'm feeling like they're top 5.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Anything else on V Unbeatable?
Only that if they, they could put together, they could do the same dance act in multiple weeks, and we'd never know. Unlike the next group.
Oh, yeah. Next group of the night. That's the Detroit Youth Choir, singing the song "You Can't Hold Us," written performed by American hip hop duo Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. What'd you think of Detroit Youth Choir?
Well, I thought this was just as good as the first time they sang this back in auditions.
Yeah. Do you think that we'll get an opportunity to see them do it even another time?
I think we may. They might do this again in the results show.
Okay. All right. Yeah. This is the same song, isn't it?
It's the exact same song.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think they performed it the exact same way.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah. So, what do you know about Macklemore?
Not anything at all.
Okay. Well, here's what I know is I don't know anything about Macklemore either. But he came and did a show in Des Moines a few years ago, and I had coworkers who went to the show, and they told me about how he told this story from the stage about how I don't know, there was some guy and he was following him down the street, and he said, "Hey, I like those pants. Where'd you get those pants?" And the guy was frustrated with him, and he finally turned around and he said, "I got them at the thrift shop." To which I didn't understand that was the punchline, but apparently that's his big song, "The Thrift Shop." So,
oh, okay, yeah.
I, just like you, had a blank look on my face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm totally a square. This is not my music. This is not my bag. I have never really cared for rap, hip hop. With that said, the Detroit Youth Choir takes this style of music and they do make it fun and they do make it accessible, and I can see why people do like it.
It does seem like it's a lot of fun. They sing it real well, but when you get into the finals, you really need to have a fresh song.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. You know what I wrote down? I said, this kind of reminds me of Kids Bop, where they take a popular song and then they make it more accessible to kids, right?
Yeah.
Like they take this popular song and make it more accessible to the masses, right? They're like edgier than Kids Bop, but definitely not too edgy, because really we're just we're a youth choir.
Yeah.
We're just the edgiest darn youth choir you ever saw. Like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel it. Like it's Kids Bop.
Yeah, and weren't we just talking last week when Simon mentioned to Chris Clafford that he should play the song he played in earlier rounds?
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he? Yeah.
And we talked about, I wonder if any group will come back and play another song. It's almost like we were manifesting this.
It doesn't seem to have hurt them. We'll talk about how they do here in the show, but I guess the judges had high praise for him. I'll say that. Howie said, "What you do is amazing. The youth and the passion and the excitement. I feel like I'm attending the Simon Cowell Daycare Center." Simon said, "I don't see a choir. I see a group of individuals who have done everything you can with enthusiasm, friendship, talent. You represent your city, and you have meant so much to us." So the guys loved them. Gabrielle said, "Detroit versus everybody. You represented for the culture, represented the excellence for all the people that get overlooked and cast aside." And Julianne said, "There really is no ceiling for you guys. You all had specific moments, and then you all absolutely took us to a whole new level." So
yeah, the ceiling can't hold them, Jay.
The ceiling can't hold them. Nope. That's right. Yep.
So, but seriously, at this level, when you get to the finals, you really should have a new song. They shouldn't allow them to rehash a song they did in earlier rounds. I understand they had to have a quick turnaround. They may not have been able to have time to learn a new song, but when you go into the live shows, you should already have, and it may be jinxing it. It may be you may be doing something to get ready for something that may not happen, but you should really have 4 or 5 songs already in the hopper that you can just perform any week.
I'm okay with them strategically bringing their best song out for the finals night, right? They brought their best song for the auditions, and they brought it back out for finals. I'm really okay with it. I don't, strategically as a, gameplay, you want to bring your best stuff, and this is their best stuff. So I get that, you should probably lose votes for it. If people are like, seen it, done it, not any better than you did it the first time, so let's move on. That's the risk that they're taking, but they reserve the right to take that risk, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, I guess I can, in a sports metaphor, if you have a playbook that you've used all year, you don't want to change your playbook for the Super Bowl.
Right, yeah. We've got this kicker. He has kicked the last 40-yard field goal, but let's have the other guy kick this 40-yard field goal. It's we already used him.
Well, since they did the same song, I tuned out on what they were doing because they were wearing the same uniforms. They were singing the same song. I felt like I was just watching auditions again, so I kind of tuned out on it.
All right. Okay. So. Well, I'm ready to move on then.
Good. Okay.
We've got Iman Beisha as our third act of the night. She's our 10 turning 11-year-old. Turns 11.
Happy birthday.
Turned 11 on Tuesday, was it?
Yeah, she turned 11 on finals night, and I think we had another birthday later on as well.
Yeah, I think so. She sang La Mama Morta, which I'm not totally familiar with. Sings opera as well as anybody. What'd you think of Iman's performance?
I thought she did a really good job. There was a point I think close to the end, where she had to hit some high notes, and I felt that she had trouble hitting those high notes. It seemed like she struggled a little bit, but as all the judges said, she does have the voice of an angel. She is one of the greatest. I know you don't like this, child opera singers that we've seen, but opera is a very, very difficult genre of music to master.
Absolutely.
So a lot of these opera singers, vast majority of these opera singers, spend many, many, many years perfecting the art. And for a 10 or 11-year-old, and this is the second 10 and 11-year-old that we've seen do it in America's Got Talent, come out and just have the skill and the precision of an experienced 20, 30-year opera singer, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, her talent is absolutely undeniable. Juxtaposing this against Detroit Youth Choir, who takes something, more edgy and makes it entertaining by, youth choiring it up. She sort of takes a different tact with it, right? Instead of forcing the music into her style, she has perfected the style.
Yes.
And she is, like I said, her talent is on point. She could not be any cuter in doing it. Like she really is an impressively good opera singer. Like I said about Darcy Lynn, she's a legitimately good ventriloquist. She's technically as good as I've seen. Iman Beisha is a technically wonderful opera singer. But just because you're the best opera singer, does that mean that you are the best act for America's Got Talent, right? Are you an A+ act? So
right, yep.
The best, hard-boiled egg peeler is not something that maybe I think deserves $1 million. I can be impressed with your ability, but it's still watching a guy peel hard-boiled eggs, right? It's not that it's not that impressive. So, she's somewhere between a Terry Fader or Darcy Lynn Farmer and the world's best hard-boiled egg peeler.
Yeah.
Now,
if I had to put, if I put her and Jackie Ivanko next to each other, Jackie Ivanko at 10 or 11, I think both of them would be very, very close to each other. And I think as Iman ages, she's just going to get even better and better.
Yeah. I would expect just that. She will continue to improve. Judge's comments, there was nothing that really stood out to me. Howie said, "I told you I'm not a fan of opera, but that song is the one that I work out to."
Yeah. And BTS, he said that she's a BTS fan. Is that Korean
I do
pop
not know.
group? Okay.
I did not write that down.
We're like you said, we're old fogey squares. So.
A couple of squares. All right. Gabrielle said, "I love you so much. Your voice is literal perfection. You're an angel on this earth and a blessing to us all." Julianne said, "Last week we said you're from another planet. This week you took us to another planet. You are perfect, literally perfect." Simon said, "This is like when I watch the Olympics and you watch those kids do these gymnastics and I don't have a clue what it's about, but you sit there and you go, that talent is extraordinary." So
that's our second Olympics plug from Simon this season.
Olympics are coming up, 2020.
2020, yep.
We're less than a year away, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, I've given you my thoughts on Iman. Anything else we need to say about her?
No, I'm ready to talk about Ryan E. Miller.
Okay, you tell me about Ryan E. Miller.
So I actually made notes about his intro. I didn't make a whole lot of notes about a whole lot of intros because it's basically the same thing.
Okay.
But his intro kind of stuck out to me because it was him sitting around the dinner table with his sister, brother, and his mom.
Yeah.
Just chit-chatting, having a family dinner.
Yeah, it was a very cute intro package.
Yes, yeah. And it was different than what the other ones had done because the others had kind of told us the same story over and over, and this one was a little bit different, kind of looking back on his comedy career and what he's done on AGT and how he owes them money. I thought that was really weird.
Well, it's like the struggling comedian trope, right?
I guess.
You still have to live out of your car. You survive as best you can. You borrow money. Sometimes it gets paid back. It's that's being a comedian.
Yeah. But then he comes out to put Party in the USA.
Yeah, throw my hands up. They're playing my song.
That's right. so that was a lot of fun. And then some of his jokes. I only wrote down I think I only wrote down one. I don't know why I wrote this one down but I enjoyed this one. It said, "If you don't vote for me, it's technically a hate crime."
That's right. Yeah, that's trying to garner those votes.
But his act was one of the best acts we've seen all season. He brought out his A game on this one.
Yeah. He talked about how, with his arms, with the disability that he has, he says, "People don't want to shake my hand, I think, for one of two reasons. Either one, they're afraid they're going to break it, or other people are afraid they're going to catch it." He says, "The only way you're going to catch it is if I sneeze in your mouth." So then he talked about how he inspires people, and sometimes in the wrong way. Right, a guy came up to me and said, "I was having a really bad day, but then I saw you." At least I'm not that guy, right?
Yeah.
And he says, "I can't go up to people and do that and say, I was not feeling very attractive today, but then I saw you." Right?
That's a great pickup line. That's a fantastic pickup line.
I don't know that it's a pickup line. You're not going to pick much up with that. But, it just goes to show, he understands that he is differently abled, and he uses this to his comedic advantage. He's embraced what it is. He understands that he understands how other people can be put off by it and how, I am afraid I'm going to break your hand or break your arm or that I'm going to whatever. So, all that to say, it was a great act. He really, went back to sort of the jokes about his disability, which, he had moved away from it a little bit. He's back to it. Great act. Great comedian. Definitely really enjoyed having him. As comedians go, he is not too edgy. He is family friendly. I would not mind my 8-year-old or my 5-year-old watching his act.
Yeah, I hope his real acts are that way as well.
Yeah, and I would expect them to be, just from what I can tell about him and his personality.
Yeah.
And I really do enjoy a good, clean comedian. And
Yeah.
I, again, like, totally being a square over here.
Yeah. Well, it's Preacher Lawson. I mean, his whole act is just like that, just as clean as can be. So, I still endorse going to see Preacher Lawson if you have a chance.
All right. Okay.
Now,
We'll hope that
final,
maybe Ryan Niemiller comes through town sometime.
Yeah. So one final thought on Ryan Niemiller that, I said earlier that everyone brings their A game. Comedians is that one. Comedians and magicians are those one type of groups. Is that really the way to use that? Anyway, are those types of groups that it's possible for them to not have a good night. You come out and you just your set just isn't quite right. People just aren't reacting to your jokes. Singing is one thing. The dancers, they can keep upping it. But comedians, if you just don't do it quite right, then it will fail. You will have an off night.
Yeah, it does happen.
So,
whether he wins or not, he's going to be just fine. He has given himself a national stage. He has put his name on the map. He can continue to perform and travel and live the comedian's life, and he's going to be very successful. So I'm not worried about him, even if he doesn't land a career as an actor. So
even from the beginning, I've loved this guy. I thought he's one of the best comedians we've seen on here, but I knew that he wasn't going to win this. There's some other acts out there that are much better. He's going to do well. He's going to do very, very well. I just didn't think he had enough, even from the beginning, to win this.
Yeah. Simon said there are so many comedies and movies being made every year. I want somebody to consider giving you the part that you deserve in a movie. Gabrielle said, I am making movies, and I want you to be a star in one of my movies. So there you go. Julianne said, you are a star. I love you. It's been an honor to watch you. Howie said, I would love to see a comedian win this whole thing. You have such an amazing heart.
Yeah,
so,
he would be great as a side character on a sitcom.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they would do with him. He, I think, could do well in a movie or on a sitcom, on a TV show. It'd be interesting to see what sort of role he might find. Yeah. Okay, next act of the night. You ready to move on?
Yeah, Voices of Service.
Voices of Service. They did a song called Footprints in the Sand by Leona Lewis. What did you think of Voices of Service?
I mean, we like Voices of Service. We've mentioned before, they're very smooth. Their harmonies are fantastic. I don't think they did anything different this time that they've done before. They're still great. They're still one of the best singing acts we've seen this season, but I just don't know if they did enough. I don't know if there's any more that they can do. They have a certain types of songs that they sing. They don't do anything energetic. They're not dancers. They sing certain types of songs, and they kind of stick to that.
Yeah.
And they focus on a certain thing. Their job is to just they focus on just healing veterans, people that have been in the service. They even, I think, showed they read letters in their intro package from soldiers talking about, hey, we've watched you, we've listened to you, here's what you've done for me. And that's kind of what they do. They don't really go outside that box. I still enjoy listening to them, but I don't think they did more this performance.
Yeah. They are a darn good quartet. They've got a great story. They're fun to watch. They're easy to listen to. The song itself, I wasn't particularly familiar with, but I did make a note. It was complete with not one but two modulations, two key changes. Because if you can't go bigger, where do you go? You go higher. So they like full Barry Manilow in there. We're just, and we change the key again. I enjoyed it. It is a little. Sometimes and this is the part where we pull your heartstring.
Absolutely. Yeah,
a little too obvious maybe, but I could listen to them very easily. I enjoy the style of music more than some of the others. I'll say that. Judge's comments, how he said, "You're changing lives. You can tell those are the people you're moving. You're so wonderful and so powerful." Gabrielle said, "Performance perfection. You recognize those heroes among us whose voices have been silenced." Julianne said, "One of the biggest questions people ask themselves is, what is life about?"
What is life about?
And we have an opportunity as artists to bring people joy and hope, and that's what you guys do. So thank you for using your talent as an outlet for people to feel seen. Yow. Okay.
What is life about? I don't know.
It's the superlatives. Here we go. All right. And then finally, Simon said, "I think you had 2 incredible weeks. You defined the words sincerity, decency, and talent. I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago, but you've given yourselves a chance at winning this competition." So high praise from Simon. He's saying you guys have a chance after we've seen half the acts of the night.
Yes, and you have a 1 out of 10 chance.
True. Like, they do literally have a chance. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So high praise from the judges. I thought it was a good act. Like I said, I've enjoyed them. I enjoy their voices. I enjoy their harmonies. They may be the best singers of the season.
Yeah.
Quite easily. So that's that. Okay, next act of the night. You ready?
Yep. Light Balance.
No, you're thinking of a different act.
Oh. But it's Light Balance.
This is Light Balance Kids.
Oh,
it's like Light Balance, but with kids.
But
yeah.
They also have another member in their group, right? They have like another celebrity in there.
That's tomorrow night.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Jay.
It's Light Balance Kids.
Okay.
So I really enjoy when they have a good story, like when they tell a story with their dance.
Yeah.
Did they tell a story with their dance?
I think so. So I actually kind of like this one a little bit more because it seemed very kid oriented. So they were, I guess they started off big, and they started off dancing to "Cake by the Ocean," which I personally think is a very fun song.
Okay.
And then they shrunk down. They did a "Honey, I Shrunk the Kids" thing, where they shrunk down to the size. Well, it was a diner scene. Started off
right. So they start off like in a 50s diner, and there's a gal dancing, and there's other guys there. Okay.
Yeah. And I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then they got shrunk down, and then they started becoming condiments.
Yeah. So it looked like this is my disconnect, right?
Okay.
They're dancing in the diner, like the kids that all did in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
You put a nickel in the jukebox, and we're gonna dance like we do, and then 2 of the guys got attacked by a pizza box, and then they drink some shrinking potion.
Yeah.
And then they dance with fries and pizza and a donut and a soda.
And hamburgers. Yeah.
Okay, that is not a story.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids down to, burgers and fries and stuff.
I'm not impressed.
Okay.
Not impressed with the storytelling.
Maybe we need, was it the Sharks and the...
Sharks and the Jets?
Yeah, Sharks and the Jets, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fun for them to dress up as, French fries and a pizza and a donut, but, like... And I guess it was visually interesting, but what? Shrinking potion? Yeah. Where did this come from?
They're kids.
Why was there a pizza box attacking these guys? I don't know.
They're kids. They have a vivid imagination.
Okay, well,
this is the one performance where I actually thought the kids came up with the idea. You know,
sure.
they didn't take a light balance performance and then just put kids in costumes. This is the one I felt like the kids actually said, "Hey, it'd be really fun. Hey, what if we're pizza boxes and hamburgers and this type." So,
okay, sure.
Yeah.
It was visually entertaining. I give it that. Like, the storytelling is a little bit lacking.
Okay.
Where did the drinking potion come from? What's going on?
It doesn't matter. You're thinking too much into it, Jay.
Okay. Fine. Howie said, all I have is one word for you. That is wow. That is the most impressive, fun Vegas act, and the entire act was gluten-free.
Not really, Howie.
No.
But okay.
That's fine. Gabrielle said, what I loved is I saw little Dennis, and we saw him dancing in the hospital. It shows how committed you guys are. So in their intro package, they showed...
Yeah, we didn't talk about the intro package.
They showed Dennis, one of their dancers, who he had... been in the hospital for something.
Yeah,
and,
they just said he got sick. So didn't really.
So video of him practicing dancing in his hospital gown, like with an IV in his arm. So
yeah, is he really that sick? I mean, I don't want to make light of it, but
I have no idea.
Okay.
Julianne said, last week I said don't do anything other than be yourselves. That was you being creative and innovative. So she was happy to see them be themselves. Simon said, I haven't been really supportive throughout the show. As you know, this is the first time I felt like it was you guys and not some older people in the background.
Well, we'll get some older people later on.
It felt like light balance, he said. Or it felt like light balance kids for the first time and not light balance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other thing in the intro package, I felt like they were kind of throwing some shade at us. Because they talked about, imagine dancing and someone turns out the lights. This is actually really hard. We don't know where we're going. We could bump into somebody. We got to make sure we're in the right place.
Yeah.
So
really, man, like almost as dangerous as V Unbeatable.
Yeah. But
sorry.
Guess what?
That wasn't dripping with enough sarcasm.
Guess what? Your whole show is based on lights.
The whole show is based on lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been that high on them. They have confirmed that they should not be top 10 in my mind.
Okay.
That's me. Okay. You ready to talk about Benicio?
Yeah, real quick though.
Please.
Are they a Vegas act?
No.
Okay.
Light Balance might be. Light Balance Kids is not.
But what if they bring in... I guess, what if they combine the two?
Light Balance would be a Vegas act. Sure, that's fine.
Okay. Benicio Bryant, go ahead.
All right. Benicio Bryant. He sings an original song for us. I took a few notes down. What do you say? Lately, it's been hard to sleep at night. You've been creeping in my mind, dreaming wide awake. I don't know why. I'm not backing out. I won't back down. Only got 6 strings. Promise you, I won't let down. Only 26 letters to let you sing along. This feels like mumbo jumbo. I don't know.
Yeah.
Words that go in a song and spit them out on the backside.
Yeah, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to his song this time.
All right. He was wearing a cool looking sweater again, so I'll give him points for that.
I made a note of the sweater this time. Right. Yeah, he had a tiger on it. It's an 8-bit tiger.
Yeah. So, he's winning the sweater game. Like he is all about that. I'm here for that.
Did he go to the thrift store to get his 8-bit tiger sweater?
We'll have to ask Macklemore if he saw him there. I don't know. All right. Howie said, I've been telling people I think Benicio can win this if he doesn't sing a cover. Julianne said, it takes a lot for one person to stand on stage without bells and whistles. It was just you, your voice, and a guitar.
Yeah. I disagree on that, but okay.
Simon said, happy birthday. You have my absolute respect. You brought yourself into the final. No gimmicks, nothing other than who you are. You've gained my absolute respect. So
yeah, that's the other thing. It was his birthday too. I don't know if that day, but he talked about how he was born when season 1 started. And he basically grew up watching AGT, and he talked about, hey, when I was this age, this was the winner.
Yep.
When I was this age, this was the winner.
Yep.
I thought that was kind of cool.
That was kind of cute. Clearly a fan of AGT. He's clearly talented. Felt a little thin, I guess. They've been all about the original songs this season. I am a little more all about the songs that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
And that's what I guess I would like to see a little bit more.
And they can't make up their mind who they enjoy hearing the original song from. They did not like Chris Clafford doing an original, but for some reason they like it. But I guess, like you say, it has to be a good original.
Yeah. And if you're going to mumble like Chris Clafford does, or you're going to have trouble spitting your words out like Benicio did, sing me a song where I am familiar with the words, and I'll give you a lot of grace because I'm going to be saying the words in my head along with you.
Yeah. And they also showed in his package they talked about him getting a guitar and playing the guitar. Why did we not see him playing the guitar?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's some things that he maybe could have done differently. No denying his talent. No denying that people have loved him and have been voting for him. Not my thing, though.
Yeah.
All right. Tyler Butler Figueroa. You ready for him?
Not really, but we'll try to get through it.
Okay. Well, the song that he performs is Survivor by Destiny's Child. I would rather have heard
Eye of the Tiger by Survivor.
There you go. All right. Yeah. I felt like he was not keeping up with the song. I felt like he was kind of screechy. Like it just wasn't his best performance. At one point, instead of playing the melody, he did like the very staccato, like da 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 da, along with the chorus, like kind of harmonizing and doing a different sort of rhythm along to it. That was good. That was the best part. This wasn't a winning act for me, though.
No, and you say it wasn't his best. Well, that's a pretty low bar.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to knock the kid. I mean, he's a cancer survivor. He can play the violin, but I don't think that this was like you say, a winning act. I think there were other acts that were better than his that should have been in the finals.
Yeah. Howie said, I'm so proud and inspired to be here witnessing this. Simon said, I'm bursting with pride right now. Gabrielle said, that was the best performance. You saved the best for last. The fact that Beyonce blessed you to do that song. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really even that much comments from the judges. So
yeah,
I'm ready to move on from Tyler Butler Figueroa.
Wow, we just blasted right through that. Yeah, let's get to Cody Lee.
Okay, Cody Lee. He's our 9th act of the night. Does a song called Lost Without You by Freya Riddings. Are you familiar with this song at all?
I think I've heard it. I mean, it's not a constant play on my playlist, but I think I've heard it every now and then.
I made a note. There was 0 key changes. So that's 2 fewer than Voices of Service had.
Well, the Voices of Service had already done the quota, so he didn't need to do it.
All right. They filled the quota for the night.
Yeah.
As he was singing, shots of the judges with their eyes closed, just listening, sort of basking in his soulful rendition. His personality, his story, like he's so childlike in his talking to you in his presentation on stage.
Heck yeah.
And then he gets in the piano and he's got this real totally mature deep soul to him. And I wonder, like, is he mimicking soul, or is there something in him where like it really is tapping into his his emotions on a different level? So I don't know. He's fun to watch. He's fun to watch because we know his backstory. He's got a great personality.
Yeah. I really did like his intro, though, where the production sat down and asked him some questions. It was just him. His mom wasn't there. They asked him one-on-one questions, and he responded. And he seemed very enthusiastic. He understood everything that they were asking him. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And as I was watching that, the cynic in me was saying, like, I wonder how much they've edited this. But it was just him talking with the producers.
Yeah.
Giving his real answers. So Howie said, I've got 2 words. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. That's kind of his catchphrase. So
yeah.
I predict you walk out of here with $1 million. Gabrielle said, Cody changes the world. Thank you for blessing us all. Julianne said, when you sing, time stops. And you impact us in a way that we get to share the moment together. Man, Julianne, like, she just... she's got a big heart, and she wants everything to just be a world changer. Like,
yeah. I want to go back to auditions where she was buzzing everybody.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. All right. Simon, one of the most beautiful things I have ever heard. No, one of the most beautiful things I have ever heard. 2 evers.
Yeah, you got to have the extra ever.
It's so easy to assume it's a shoo-in. Everyone has to vote, but that was as good as I've ever heard. So high praise from all the judges. No surprise. Cody brings it, as expected.
I try to. I do my best.
No, the other Cody.
Oh.
That Cody. All right. And last act of the night was one of my favorites, one that I was looking forward to, Ndlovu Youth Choir from South Africa.
Yeah, and they sang the song Africa.
Yes,
by Toto.
So I've always kind of thought that the song had sort of lazy harmonies.
Okay.
But they're fun, and they're easy to listen to.
Yeah.
And they did a great job.
Yeah,
they did a great job with the song.
Africa.
It was fun. They brought a smile to my face, just like they do every time.
It seemed like they also put their own twist on it. It seemed like they were... it didn't seem like the whole thing was in English.
No, it wasn't. And yeah, I love this act. I've loved this youth choir. My favorite of the 2 youth choirs by a lot.
Yes.
And again, it's part of just the music that I'm familiar with and the songs that I recognize. I like them. I like their style. I like their harmonies. I didn't think this was necessarily their best performance, but like I said, I smiled throughout.
Yeah. Yep. I enjoyed Africa. I thought it was a great song to choose for the finals.
Yeah. Howie said, this has been the most emotional, inspirational, talent-filled final I have ever been a part of. Gabrielle said, I'm so proud. This whole audience was along for the ride with you guys. Julianne said, this is my first season on AGT, and first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be in front of you. I'm so blessed to watch you, and the joy. If you can dream it, you can do it.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
Thanks, Julianne. Simon said, this song can change people's lives. You have just ended the best final I've ever sat in my life. So, high praise for the show. Not so much high praise for Ndlovu Youth Choir, I guess, is what they were saying.
Yeah, Gabrielle, you are the pride of Africa. You are the pride of America. If I was like Detroit Youth Choir or Voices of Service, I'd be like, wait a minute. What? They're the pride of America? Wait a minute. What?
Does that include North America and South America? Because that's 3 continents.
Yes.
Sheesh. That's a lot of pride. Okay, so that is the 10 acts of the night. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the 10 acts. Going into finals, I guess I didn't make a who do I think is going to be what or how. Well, you know what I do have. So, did you have who do you think is going to win? Who's your top 5 after tonight? Did anything change?
No, I still thought Cody Lee was going to win. I didn't really have a top 5 at this point. I could definitely say that I did not want. I can put who I did not want to be in the top 5.
Okay.
Not necessarily that they wouldn't be, but just who I didn't want.
Okay.
I did not want Light Balance Kids. Tyler Butler Figueroa, and Detroit Youth Choir. I think those were the three that I did not want in the top 5.
All right, yeah.
So
I think, the order that I enjoyed them is different than the order than I thought they would end up in.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of hard to, suss that all out. But, I would guess, like you, that Cody Lee is going to win. But if I had my druthers, The Unbeatable would be our winner. So
Yeah. Real quick before we get to results, we haven't looked at our time tracker yet.
Oh, yeah. What do we got on time tracker? What's our... Give me some notes.
So Ryan Niemiller was the longest one. His performance was 4:05.
Oh, wow.
Complete thing with intros, performance, and reactions 7:53. The shortest was Light Balance Kids at 1:55.
Okay.
So
that's very short.
That's very short.
They could have spent some time telling us where in the world the shrinking drink came from.
But that's very consistent. Ryan Niemiller, I mean, they've been giving the comedians a little bit longer than everyone else. The dance crews, the singing usually gets, under 3 minutes or so. Cody Lee got 3:17 to perform. He was actually the second longest after Ryan Niemiller.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah. So, it's very, very average for the night. Nothing, no 10-minute performances by, some mentalist crew.
Sentimentalists or anybody. Okay.
Yeah. So, nothing out of that ordinary except, Ryan Niemiller getting a little bit longer than everyone else.
Okay. And I'm okay with that just as a general rule for comedians to get a little extra time. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I'm with you there.
They need that time.
All right. So, no surprise. No real big surprises from any of the acts. Nothing that I, hadn't seen before or didn't expect to see. Everybody was on point with what they've showed us so far up to this point in the season.
Yeah, they didn't just completely come out and, again, change out their playbook and do something that they've never done before.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. I am ready to talk results. Are you?
Okay. Well, we got a lot of fluff to get through before we get to results.
Okay. So, I had asked myself a few questions about, who these people are that they're performing with, who some of these famous people are. So I've got some trivia to drop on you as we go through this fluff before we get to the results here.
Like Kago and Long Long and...
Yeah, so
okay.
We're introduced to Kygo, who is going to perform Kygo's song in collaboration with Whitney Houston, featuring Waterloo Youth Choir and Detroit Youth Choir.
I thought this was interesting. I didn't know that Higher Love was a Whitney Houston song, for one thing.
Yeah. Do you know what Whitney Houston's favorite kind of coordination is?
No.
And I. All right. Okay, so Kygo is a DJ, I think.
I can see that.
He was up on the stage, on a platform up above Waterloo Youth Choir, doing their song. The Kygo in late 2015 became the fastest artist to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify, and by June 2016, he had reached 2 billion streams on Spotify.
And I've never heard of this guy.
No. I thought his name was Kyle. Kyle, but his name's Kygo.
Okay. But is Kygo short for something?
No, I think it's a portmanteau of his first and last names or something.
That's what I was wondering. Do you take Kyle and whatever Go is and last name? And,
yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't take that down in the trivia. I only got that he was the fastest to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify. So
that's a lot.
And then it is. I
can only hope the day that we reach 1,000 streams on Spotify.
Someday, just someday.
Yeah.
All right. So Detroit Youth Choir comes out. They're going to perform with Macklemore. They're going to do a song called I've got it here somewhere. Oh man, I feel like I've heard it before even. What was it? Can't Hold Us?
Can't Hold Us, yes. The Ceiling Can't
I was
Hold
only
Us.
familiar with one other Macklemore song. It's The Thrift Shop.
Could you sing some lyrics from the thrift shop for us?
I cannot, no.
Okay.
So, I don't know. They performed with Macklemore. Here's some Macklemore trivia for you.
Okay.
Macklemore owns a painting by Dan Lacey of a nude Justin Bieber.
Oh, that's an image I did not want.
This is Wikipedia knowledge for you. So if that's not true, blame it on Wikipedia. But that is that's the trivia that I got for you on Macklemore. He has some interesting artistic tastes.
Yeah. Now, after them singing his song 3 times this season, I would have thought that he was from Detroit, and he's not from Detroit.
No, where's he from?
I think it said Seattle.
Okay, all right.
So.
Okay, so then we're going to review last night's acts, and then we go to commercial break, and let's see what happened last night in the Duncan Lounge, and then we're going to come back and see Tyler Butler Figueroa and Brian King Joseph going to play some violins together, have like a favorite things violin battle.
Yeah.
And yep. So that's the thing that happened.
Brian King Joseph's still better than Tyler Butler Figueroa
By a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, Tyler. I mean, I know we're knocking on Tyler a lot, but I'm sorry. That's just the way we are.
That's it's the truth. Brian King Joseph's disease. This is your trivia on the night. It's called neuropathy.
Yes.
Yep. So
does it say how he's doing on that?
He's doing well enough to still play violin.
Thanks, Jay.
That's all I got. I don't know.
Do I need to pull out the Captain Obvious commercial?
All right. Okay, moving on to Light Balance Kids.
Yes.
They perform, and it's actually Paula Abdul performing along with Light Balance Kids.
Yes. Surprise!
Surprise! It's Paula Abdul, and she's promoting a thing that she has coming up. I didn't take it down.
She has a Vegas show coming up.
Paula Abdul began her career as a cheerleader for the Los Angeles Lakers at the age of 18 and later became the head choreographer for the Laker Girls, where she was discovered by the Jacksons.
Yes. Now, she was also, was it a fly girl?
I don't know. I didn't write that down.
On Living Color. I think it was Living Color on Fox. Am I thinking of that right? That she was a fly girl?
A fly girl? I don't even know what that is.
So there was a show on Fox in the late 80s, early 90s. I think the Wayans brothers started this show.
Okay.
And it was a skit show, Saturday Night Live, Mad TV type
heard
thing.
of it, yeah.
Yep, it was on Fox. And then in the commercial, coming in and out of commercial breaks, they would have these dancers called Fly Girls. So
Paula Abdul was one of those dancers?
Seemed like I remember Paula Abdul being one of those dancers.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I'm wrong. But
they're going to go to commercial break, and we're going to come back. We're going to see Iman and Lang Lang.
Yeah. But you also forgot to mention, Jay. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off.
No, please.
Former judge on AGT. Hello.
Not on AGT.
Paula Abdul. Oh, no, sorry. American Idol.
Yes.
Sorry.
Which I never got into. Sorry.
Yeah, for a couple of seasons, I watched the auditions to watch them make fun of people, which is terrible.
Okay, yeah.
Which is really terrible.
But that was kind of their thing, yeah.
Yeah, but once I got out of that, then I lost interest.
Right.
So once they got to the good acts, I lost interest.
All right. The world's greatest living pianist, Lang Lang, is coming up, though. Lang, Lang Lang, pronounced long.
Yeah.
He plays a little bit, kind of some good crowd pleaser sort of piano playing, and then Iman sings "Time to Say Goodbye" along with him playing.
I'm glad you got the name of that song.
Popularized by Andrea Bocelli. I think I sang this in sophomore year, maybe. Yeah.
Can you sing a bit of it for us?
No, not as well as Iman.
Fair enough.
No, we like the choir sang it. So.
Oh, okay. So you had a part.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I was a bass.
Okay.
it's a pretty popular song out there. There was I counted one key change for good measure, and she was beautiful. She sang it wonderfully. So at the age of 2, Long watched the Tom and Jerry episode, The Cat Concerto, which features Franz Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2. Long has said it was his first contact with Western classical music, that motivated him to learn the piano. There's your trivia for the night.
Cool. Thanks, Jay.
So, the world's greatest living pianist. I'd never heard of him. So there you go.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Surely there's other.
Inspired by Tom and Jerry.
Okay, so here's a question for you real quick.
Yes.
So Aman Bisha sang like her 6th different song this season, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Tyler Butler Figueroa came out and played a completely different song than he's played the rest of the season, right?
Correct.
Detroit Youth Choir sang the same song for the 3rd time.
Also true.
Okay, I want to make sure I had all that right. Oh, in Lovu Youth Choir sang a different song.
Yes.
Okay, so all these others had time to learn. Oh, and we're getting ready to get into Ryan E. Miller, who learned how to wrestle. All of these learned different songs. Detroit Youth Choir, same song 3 times.
Okay, we got the point.
Okay,
Yeah.
just want to make sure. I know I'm beating the horse here, but just.
All right,
Okay.
Ryan Lee Miller, he's going to come out and he's going to learn some professional wrestling prep with Chris Jericho. That was a fun little act, fun little video that they put together. Ryan Niemiller gets to live out being the cripple threat that he always dreamed of. It was a cute little video. He pretends to get knocked out by this other wrestler, and then as the other wrestler is, standing at the edge of the mat, Ryan Niemiller gets up and, smashes him into the corner post and pins him. So, fun little video. Here's your trivia. Chris Jericho was born Christopher Keith Irvine.
Okay, cool.
All right. Another commercial break. We're going to see Terry Crews montage, followed by Benicio Bryant singing with, you guessed it, Ozuna.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Oh, well, would you believe that Ozuna earned the following Guinness World Records titles?
Okay.
Male artist with the most weeks at number 1 on Billboard's Top Latin Albums chart, with 46 non-consecutive weeks from 16th of September 2017
46.
to the 1st of September 2018.
46. I would like to know what the actual record is for Billboard in general.
Most Billboard Latin Music Award wins for a single artist in a single year, with 11 awards on the April of 25th, 2019. The most Billboard Latin Music Award nominations for a single artist in a single year, with 23 nominations. And the artist with the most videos to reach 1 billion views on YouTube.
What's with these artists getting a billion views and a billion streams?
That Ozuna. I think you were thinking of the other Ozuna that you hadn't heard of.
I guess. Wow, that's incredible.
So, there you go. They sang a song together. After another commercial break, Cher and Simon talked to each other a little bit. This happened.
This was a little fun. Simon doesn't know what planking is.
I thought it was kind of boring, but yeah. He also doesn't know what ramen noodles are.
Or Wii tennis.
Right.
I guess, Wii tennis kind of makes sense because he's a little old for the Wii and his son's a little young for the Wii.
All right, yeah.
So, but planking, his personal trainer never had him do any planks.
Yeah. Okay. So now we get a solo by Julianne Hough doing a song called Transform. She's going to perform with V Unbeatable. They do a thing where they kind of throw her through the air. Like, they never let go of her feet, but she sort of like does this rainbow arc through the air. I noted that she lip syncs pretty good.
What did you think of her outfit?
It was very lacy.
Is blue painter's tape back in vogue?
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's what it looked like to me, like she was wearing blue painter's tape.
I take all of my fashion cues from Julianne.
I'm going to start wearing blue painter's tape to work.
I'm going to start unbuttoning my shirts down to my belly button.
But
you know what? Like, okay, she's totally sexy, right?
Yes,
like
absolutely.
She can absolutely pull it off.
She can rock it, yes.
This was not the most family-friendly outfit that I've seen her wear.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No.
But, yeah, I was distracted by her pants and, like...
You're distracted by her pants?
Yeah, like, they had giant slits down the sides, and then she'd, like, squat, and her legs were revealed, but she still, like, when she stood up, like, they were back into, like, pants that covered her legs. It was weird. I was distracted by that instead of listening to her song.
So, I missed the beginning where it was Julianne, like, where Terry had told us it was Julianne Hough, and my wife walked in the room, and I said, there's this lady on here that's wearing a bra with blue painter's tape. And then I was like... Is that Julianne? She's like, yes, that's Julianne.
Sorry, I couldn't look at her face. All I saw was her outfit. Okay.
Sorry,
the next
Julianne.
thing that we're going to see is Lily Singh's worst acts of the season.
This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun to be reminded of these guys. All right. Ballet Monkey was number 5. Death, the comedian, was number 4. Urianne Retriever, our dancer, was number 3.
Her. Yes.
Brandon Culprich, the flute-playing stripper, was number 2.
and your boy.
Seth Word was our number 1. So there you go. You can see Lily Singh on A Little Late with Lily Singh late nights on NBC.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out who this was because they made a big deal. This was Lily, and it's her top 5, and I'm like, well, who's Lily? Why does she matter? I didn't know who this was.
I felt the same as you, and I also felt the same when they introduced us to Ozuna and to Long Long and to Kygo. So again, like I've said it a few times, I'm convinced that I'm a total square. I get it.
Well, and it's late. If it's late night stuff with Lily, then I don't stay up that late.
All right, Lily Singh is a YouTube influencer.
Okay.
As of 2019, Lily Singh's net worth was an estimated $16 million.
Okay.
So there you go. That's Lily Singh. Another commercial break. We're going to come back. We got Billy Ray Cyrus singing with Voices of Service. I wrote down Billy Ray. He looks like this grizzled, old, hard-living country man.
I didn't even recognize him.
Like, in reality, he's like a total softy multimillionaire, right?
Yeah.
He has a private jet and lives a pretty cushy life.
Yeah.
But he plays the part pretty well. Billy Ray.
Yeah.
So,
and his daughter is like crazy. So.
Lily Singh's net worth is $16 million. What do you think Billy Ray Cyrus's net worth is?
60.
No. 20 million is all. I don't know if he's spending it or if he's got a terrible contract or
I think
a
Miley
wonderful philanthropist. I don't know.
I think Miley is probably mooching off that a little bit.
I thought it was interesting that his net worth was only 25% higher than Lily Singh's.
Yeah, I figured, what was it? Did he do Boot Scootin' Boogie? Is that the one he did? What's his big hit?
Friends in Low Places.
No, that's Garth. Don't you dare say that.
All right. I don't know.
What's his big hit? Go ahead. I'm
I don't
trying
know.
to remember what his big hit
All
was.
right, you pull that up. We're going to see...
Achy Breaky Heart.
Achy Breaky Heart. All right, fine.
Yeah.
Simon Cowell tells us about his American Dream, and then we get Cher doing ABBA's Waterloo. So Cher was up on stage. There was also a lot of satin and velvet and a lot of bright colors on stage.
Yes, a lot of 70s outfits going on.
All right, trivia. How old is Cher?
I was going to ask you that too. 76.
73 is the answer.
Okay, sorry. I knew it was... we looked it up because the wife asked last night, how old is she? And I looked it up. So.
How old is Cher's face?
5.
Much younger.
5 months. No, she looks good. She can still dance.
Yeah.
She can still sing. She looks good. So.
She Yeah, there. If you can get past her face and her outfits, like she's still a talented musician. So,
yeah.
all right. Cody Lee and Leona Lewis are going to perform together. "You Are the Reason" by Callum Scott. Callum Scott apparently has never said no to having one of his songs performed on America's Got Talent.
Let's get some major royalties on that.
Leona Lewis.
Is he part of Psycho?
I don't know.
Okay.
Leona Lewis won PETA's Sexiest Vegetarian along with Red Hot Chili Peppers frontman Anthony Kiedis in 2008.
Yeah, I looked all that up, and I noticed she's like vegetarian and vegan, and she's won sexy. Yeah, she won all those weird vegetarian awards.
PETA's Sexiest Vegetarian of 2008.
Yeah.
Boom. Leona Lewis.
I didn't know that.
In case
was
you were
even
confused.
a thing.
I like my meat. I like a good steak.
That's right.
It's
so
fine.
Funny thing is, they're making these Unreal burgers, whatever they're called, the meatless burgers.
Oh yeah,
yeah, the Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
So funny thing I saw was, if they don't like meat so much, why are they continuing to try to make vegetables taste like meat?
Yeah. Man, who's the comedian? Yeah, I'm not like, hey, this hamburger is too meaty. Can you make it taste more like a carrot?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of a one-way street, but whatever. If it's healthy for you, if it's your thing, I'm not gonna yuck your yum, but it's not my thing.
Callum Scott, not part of Psycho, but associated acts, Leona Lewis.
Okay, there you go. Okay. We are 90 minutes into the episode, and we finally get to the first results of the night. Whew. Okay, top 5. You ready?
Yep.
They're going to bring them out 2 at a time. Tell us which one's going to be top 5 and which one is not, in no particular order. So they're bringing out Voices of Service and Benicio Bryant. How did you think this one was going to go?
I really thought it was going to go Benicio. I'm glad it went the way that it did. I thought it would probably really close, but I really thought Benicio would be the one to go through.
Yeah, I was thinking, he's gotten so much love. He's gotten more votes all his previous episodes. I thought it was going to be Benicio, but pleasant surprise, Voices of Service. So
yeah, and they seem shocked as well.
Yeah. So way to go, America. Way to vote Voices of Service through. I was pleased with that result. Second set, we've got Iman and Ryan Niemiller. How did you think this was going to go down?
I really thought Ryan Niemiller was going to go through. He was the best comedian. He's been the best comedian all season. He was funny in his performance. I was for sure it was going to be Ryan Niemiller.
Yeah. I wasn't sure that it was going to be Ryan Niemiller, but I was hoping for it, and we got it. So
I was about 70% sure.
All right. Yeah. So Voices of Service are through. Ryan Niemiller's through. Third of our top 5. It's going to be Via Unbeatable and Undlovu Youth Choir.
Yeah, this one was interesting grouping because I liked both of them. I thought both of them were going to be top 5. It was probably close as well. And I really thought Via Unbeatable was going to be the one to go through.
Yeah, I definitely expected Via Unbeatable of these two. I'm higher on Undlovu Youth Choir than I think America is, but wasn't surprised when they gave us Via Unbeatable.
Yep.
Fourth result, Cody Lee and Light Balance Kids. Cody Lee versus anybody.
Yeah, unless the votes just got spread amongst all the others, then yes, he was going to be the as Simon said, a shoe-in.
Yeah. So Cody Lee is going through, and then Detroit Youth Choir and Tyler Butler Figueroa. I wasn't surprised to see Detroit Youth Choir go through. Is that what you expected as well?
I was hoping so. Well, this is kind of the lesser. This is the one where I wish these two had been up against somebody else. But if I had to pick the two, I would rather Detroit Youth Choir go through than Tyler Butler Figueroa. But I really wish these two were up against Ryan Niemiller or Via Unbeatable.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that top 5. Voices of Service, Ryan Niemiller, Via Unbeatable, Cody Lee, Detroit Youth Choir. If I had my druthers, I'd switch out Detroit Youth Choir and Undlovu Youth Choir.
Yeah,
but I'm really happy with that top 5.
Yeah, I think we've said all season we prefer Undlovu over Detroit Youth Choir.
Yep. All right, we're gonna see our 5th place goes to Voices of Service.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I mean, they're really good, but I don't feel that they are. It was surprising a little bit that they did get into the top 5.
Yeah.
So to finish 5th is I think probably about right.
I'm happy with them in that spot. That's a fantastic showing for a really great quartet.
Yep.
Okay, commercial break. We're back from commercial break. 4th place goes to The Unbeatable.
Yeah, this one was a little surprising, and I think everyone else in the audience was surprised as well. I don't remember hearing it, but I did read that there were a lot of boos when this happened. But it's surprising that they finished 4th.
Yeah. I was expecting them to go to 2nd place. Surprised to see them in 4th.
Yep.
Agreed. All right, 3rd place goes to our comedian Ryan Niemiller.
I think this is about right because we expected Unbeatable to be 2nd. So for him to be 3rd, I think is fantastic. I'd love to see some sort of, if AGT did like a best of comedy show where they had him and Preacher and Tom Cotter and some of the other great comedians that we've seen, I think that would be a fantastic show to watch.
That'd be a lot of fun. I could see them putting together like a touring show of AGT comedians or just a TV special. That'd be a lot of fun. I agree.
Yep.
All right, another commercial break, and we're back. So watch the journey of Detroit Youth Choir and Cody Lee from auditions all the way through to the top 2, yada, yada, yada. 2nd place is Detroit Youth Choir, which means our winners, Cody Lee. Nobody is surprised. Cody Lee takes it in, just like he should. He's thrilled. He looks wonderful. He did a great job all season long. I'm not displeased with him as a winner. He's maybe not my first choice, but he's a great representative for what I want America's Got Talent to be.
Yeah, absolutely. If we could have ties in this, I would like to see him and The Unbeatable as like co-winners. If that's even possible.
Sure.
So.
No, he's great. He's a great act. He'll go down in the in the history of America's Got Talent as a great winner. He's got a great future in front of him.
Yeah, I agree. I hope that he can, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I hope he can stay relevant. Hope he doesn't become one of these winners that kind of just fades off. Some of the ones we've seen from earlier seasons where they've just kind of faded away. We never hear from him again. I hope he can stay relevant for the next many years. That's really for many years. Yes.
Yeah, very much. One thing that crossed my mind is, people who are as disadvantaged as Cody Lee with blindness and autism, what is he bringing to his family? I mean, his presence and his life and his, I'm not devaluing him at all, but his ability to make money and to contribute to his family's well-being is kind of limited. And, now he's bringing in a paycheck, right? He's definitely pulling his own weight, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to parse my words here and choose my words carefully.
Yeah.
So, but all that to say, he's a fantastic talent. I'm really pleased that he is able to use the talents that he has and be discovered and be as wonderful as he is, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to do well. Detroit Youth Choir was a little surprising in 2nd place.
Yeah.
We mentioned we thought like The Unbeatable or one of those others would be up there.
Yeah, I did not expect Detroit Youth Choir as 2nd until there was only 2 acts left.
Yeah.
Then I fully expected them to be 2nd.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Any other thoughts on the season?
No, I thought it was a real good season. Simon mentioned this is probably the best finals he's ever seen on America's Got Talent. I don't know about that. I mean, it's a lot of finals to go through and a lot of performances to go through, but I thought it was pretty good. There's some changes I would have made personally to the finals, just a couple of changes, but I think overall it was a really good finals. Some variety. We had dancing and singing, and we had a comedian. I would like to have seen maybe some magic. We had some danger in there. So, it was a good variety. It wasn't a whole lot of singing. So I'm pleased with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really pleased. I like Voices of Service in the 5th place spot. I would have liked to be Unbeatable higher. Ryan Niemiller, 3rd place, fantastic. Cody Lee as our winner is great. No complaints from me, other than Detroit Youth Choir being a little bit high on the finals specifically. If I had my druthers, I might design the whole season a little bit differently, with the number of auditions acts and the number of judges episodes, judge cut episodes, and the number of live episodes. Like, I might do things a little bit differently if it were up to me, but that's a different conversation for a different day.
Yeah, maybe we talk about that one day.
Yeah. So with that, I'm kind of ready to put a bow on it. You guys all can reach out to us on the social medias, and we will maybe find some opportunities to do some off-season content, or reach out to us. Let us know what you think. Let us know how we can better represent the show, better show you guys what America's Got Talent. Make this useful for you guys to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. We love doing this, but we're going to take a little bit of a break, let Jay do some schoolwork, get some stuff done. But, yeah, we'll be back someday, off-season stuff, or, if something big breaking news happens, we may be back, talk about it. But I thought it was a good season. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Cody.
And if you don't have anything else, we'll call it a season. How about that?
Let's call it a season. Everybody be safe out there.
Yep. Bye.